Alright, welcome everybody. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully you guys can hear me. Hopefully you guys can also hear this loud music behind us. We are going to turn it down because we don't get a copyright strike. But it is time for a new podcast here, guys. It's going to go on the YouTube. And it's something I do every Friday. It's a little bit, Cubes' Corner, it's end of the week. Something we can always do for you guys. But today our topic is really going to hit on we're going to talk to the organization owner of Inferno League, Cardinal, and then we're going to hit up on the future timeline for FPS, along with the stigma between pro league players and regular casual players. But we'll get to that after we talk to Cardinal. So let's switch over here and bring in Cardinal. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. You?
I'm doing great, man. This freaking having a tough time trying to get everything all set up here. It was not agreeing with me for a little bit, so let me try to see if we get my camera here to work real quickly. If it does, then we can get ourselves underway here.
All right.
All right, there it goes. Okay, and click on it real quickly, and then we should be good to go. Let's set up camera here.
All right.
Bada bing, bada boom. There we go. Okay, so welcome to the first episode of Cubes' Corner. Like I said, how you doing today, Cardinal? An expansion. Second is all the leagues, in detail about what all the leagues are, what games they play, and how they structure, along with any upcoming events. So let's start with the first one, the league organization expansion. I know you just finished up doing the expansions, but why did you want to do the expansion?
Well, obviously, we started off in Rainbow Six Siege. We were there for quite some time, probably a year now. We wanted a new scenery in a way, and we just didn't want to be stuck in that one particular area. So expansion was a good idea for us, and especially with comp for PlayStation has definitely been dying, and we wanted to get to other places and get to other games and extend our reach in a way.
Yeah, I mean that's a great idea because console competitive gaming is kind of like on the back burner for PC competitive. For instance, like you said, Siege, Rainbow Six Siege is a heavy PC competitive league, and if you don't have a PC, you're kind of there's nowhere you can go unless you fork out the money for that PC.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we're super excited with Rainbow Six Siege. Obviously, that's our hugest or biggest league right now, our main attraction. And I mean, in this upcoming, probably in the next month, we'll be expanding towards PC for Rainbow Six Siege, which we are super excited about.
Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. I also know you do have a COD League as well. I am a big fan of COD. What's your guys' plan for that?
Well, Call of Duty, we started at Server Fresh. With the other leagues that we have, we've partnered with already established leagues. That way, we don't have to start from scratch and work all the way up. But Call of Duty is one of our leagues that we've started from scratch and still in development. We've been really trying to pump the tournaments out for Rainbow Six Siege, Rocket League, and especially Valorant, which we have coming up in the next week. But Call of Duty, we're still kind of getting the teams together. We're hoping to have maybe 6 to 8 teams for the first season. What's going to be on Call of Duty Vanguard, and I mean, as Call of Duty goes on, we're going to expand towards the different game that released. I mean, COD, they make games so fast. It's really tough to have a
Yeah.
league established for particularly one game.
Oh yes, but yeah, that's the thing about COD. I mean, COD is going to, I think, in 2023. They said they're going to stick with 2 years of the game. So that means we're going to have 2 years of, I think, MW2 is what they're going to try to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that may change the rotation, especially in actual pro league of what's to come. Are they going to have two championships on the same game? Are they gonna mix it up? And I mean, that's questions they gotta answer. This question you guys gotta answer as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and still right now we have pretty small staff team. Again, it's very new, but I mean, right now we have Mac who's running it, but I'm going to be stepping in a lot more since he's been inactive from time to time. But um, we're going to focus really hard on Call of Duty and make sure we get everything established with them to have a fully functional league for it. Should be really exciting.
Bet that's great to hear. And I make sure to always preach the Inferno. Like I said, guys, if you guys do want to go play in their leagues, you go check them out. You can join the Discord. It is within my about. It'll also be in the YouTube section as well for you guys. But also on that, um, how well are the teams you see coming in? Do you have a lot of really competitive teams, or do you have these like average so and so one and done day teams?
So depends on the kind of league. For Rainbow Six Siege right now, we have the best console teams you could possibly imagine, the best on the platform, and especially for PC. Once we get that established for Rainbow Six Siege, we should have really high caliber teams with, especially with how you know big that league is at the moment. With Valorant, we have a really successful team growth as well. With them, we have a lot of really good teams that are going to be competing in this upcoming tournament that we have, I believe, next weekend. We were hoping to have it March 26th, but had to push it back. But same with Rocket League. We're starting that in the next week as well, which we have some really good teams on Europe and in NA. So both really good experienced teams that we have in both those categories. So with many of our leagues, we have the best of the best that we can possibly have.
Well, that's great to hear. Everyone wants to always play the best of the best, and having the best of the best will attract, others. Won't take them down. For example, um, in COD you have right now, Optic, the Green Wall dynasty that everyone wants to try to take down. That's the main goal. You're looking for the next Scump. You're looking for the next, Pengu. Looking for the, that's how it is.
Mhm.
Especially on console when there's no pro league to go to. Um, being that uh advocate for those players is a good idea. And as well, into that, I'm going to help you, run the production for those guys. I mean, a lot of guys on console don't get the view time as the guys on PC do. you know
Mhm.
um and that's the thing with Siege specifically. A lot of guys who are really good, um aren't mostly seen because one, they probably don't have the following, or they don't have, the eyes being looked at them. And a lot of guys in PL that you see are content creators first. They go off content creation, get noticed, and then they get branded for that from an org. So, hopefully adding that production side to it can also, advocate for these players to, possibly go play a different game or something like that and get into that competitive gaming scene.
Mhm. Yeah, I totally agree. And I mean, coming from me, when I started Rainbow Six Siege console league, um, I didn't have a PC at the time. Right now, I don't have a PC yet. And I've played a lot of PlayStation. I've always wanted to play competitively, but I've looked around, couldn't find the leagues at the time, didn't even know what Discord was. And as time went on, I mean, got super attached to it. And you see so many great players, like if, for example, throwing some teams out there, teams like Durag and other players like that. Sure, they might have some view time, but compared to the PC players, they are just blown out of the water, and it's tough. So, yeah, the console skill level for PlayStation is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and I mean, onto that, it's not only that, since some games cater more to PC because they want
Mhm.
the LAN events. It's kind of hard nowadays to be LAN with all the consoles. So you got to buy so many consoles, especially when it's hard right now to even buy a PS5. Let alone people have the money, they just can't. They can't make enough of them. Some of these
Yeah.
guys as well could be effective in other games, like for instance COD, Rocket League. Um, Rogue Company. A lot of these other games that people haven't really talked about are more console oriented, and it seems like there's no support from the PC players to want to help out those guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Because like those guys who are on console are great players. They just suck with mouse and keyboard. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm one of the victims. I am great with the controller. Put a mouse and keyboard in my hands. I can't. It's like I have two left feet trying to play the game. So
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
no, go ahead. Sorry.
it's just tough. I mean, I've tried to play in like for example like a friend's PC and try to play with M&K. I mean, it's like coming from controller, it's a whole different world, and it's super hard to adjust to. But I'm hoping to get a PC sometime this summer. It'll also help with league stuff to, you know, maybe work on more production stuff and just work on functions with that. It'd be weird if I owned a PC league and then didn't have a PC myself. So that's one of the goals, and I'm definitely gonna have to learn how to play on keyboard. It's a tough switch.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, it is a definitely different game for Siege. I think for Rocket League it's different as well. Um, having that PC version, uh, caters for better production. But, the goal here, like I said, is to help out those guys on a console. So, I want to see if the game developers do also, help out those guys on console. That would be great to see. Um,
Yeah, that'd be really good.
but let's hit on some more other leagues here. What's other leagues that you have? Do you know all the leagues that you have for games?
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
that list on you?
Yeah, I do. So the current leagues that we have right now, each one for different games, of course. We have Rainbow Six Siege, of course, Rocket League. We also have Valorant, a Fortnite League, which doesn't really get much attention. Still in kind of a rebuilding process. Our owner, or the owner of the league, recently dropped, and we since he was dropping from it, we bought it from him. So still trying to get the personnel for it. Inferno Cod, like you mentioned, still in the works, trying to get those teams ready and get a good staff team, especially some casting for it, and get a good Cod League running. We also have a new league, which is that we're starting for basically 3 games, which is Valorant, Rocket League, and R6, which will be called the Inferno Beginner League, which will be specifically for beginners to comp within these 3 games. And if they're interested and want to learn more about playing comp instead of going to a big league with high caliber teams, this league will have specifically D3 teams and just smaller teams in general. So we're super excited to have that in the works. We also have Inferno Madden, which we are still working with having them switch their logo. They're busy with their season, and once their season wraps up, then we're going to be a big influence to them and help them out a ton. So we're super excited for Inferno Madden. We also have a mobile game, which, yeah, you could believe, which is Inferno Sideswipe, which is actually made by Rocket League itself, and it's basically just mobile Rocket League. It's a fun activity. It's a smaller league that we're going to be having, just for mobile players. If people can't play on console, I mean, people can play on mobile, and yeah, that's kind of the whole rundown on things. We're hoping to get some other leagues in the picture here. We've thought about getting to Apex. We've worked on and talked with another league for a VR league, which they said that they need more time to think on it. Um, we also worked on getting a CS:GO and a Halo league going, but as of right now, we think we're just going to settle with the leagues we have right now and make sure we have each league running to that fullest capability.
Yeah, no, Halo is definitely a big watch of late. Cod League had to step up. I feel like their pro league because that Halo, I haven't seen the viewers. The Halo gets more than Rocket League, and Rocket League pulls in a ton of views. On the Twitch streams. If you guys haven't seen, I think it's RLCS Rocket League Cup Series. I think it's what it goes by. It's something also this Fortnite Cup Series. But if you guys do see that on Twitch, they get like 90 to 100K like for their basic everyday games. So let alone Halo is outperforming that by a ton, and COD, you know, their average viewers depends on who plays that day. So
Yeah,
uh, that's kind of the difference we have right now between those games. They're all really competing for the views. A lot of people, that watch all those games are kind of the same guys that watch, COD, watch Siege, watch Fortnite. I think it's feel like it's all the pacing of the game too. Um, COD's very fast paced. You can watch a quick game, dip out, go somewhere you gotta go. Siege, it takes a really long time sometimes. And I want to see if Siege can find a way to speed up the pace of the game, because Siege is a great game. It's just really, really, really slow. I know it's a strategy game, but like a lot of people, don't have the attention span to watch a hour and a half long match. Let alone it goes to OT. You're there for almost 2 hours playing one game of Siege. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I
So
mean with Rainbow Six Siege, especially with this comp and actual pro league and esports, R6, like you said, is a lot slower compared to games like CS:GO, Halo. I mean, Valorant. Those are really fast paced, and that's what people want to watch. They want to see the action before, instead of a person droning through a building for 30 seconds. So, yeah, I mean, those leagues have a lot of action, and that's what people want to resort to.
yeah, so I mean that's something they can definitely, your production team can definitely hit on. Trying to find a way to keep the audience engaged because I find a lot of times that the casters in the other games that are more fast paced, the casters aren't great, but the casters are there, and um, Siege has fantastic casting, but it's just so um it's boring. The casters are
Yeah.
great. They're trying to keep us entertained, but it's just not the same when you're trying to watch a game that takes a while. So I want to see how your production team could really handle that because that would right there would take Inferno League over the top for you guys.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a goal of ours in production for all of these leagues. I mean, since we have so many, it's gonna be tough to manage every single production team.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure with the personnel we have, with the staff team we have, we're definitely gonna be able to get it done.
100%. I like it. Do you guys have anything set up Twitch wise or any socials you want to let know before we hit our last topic?
Well, as of right now, we run everything on YouTube, obviously, with Rainbow Six Siege. I think in this next, when we have the first couple tournaments coming, which is Valorant and Rocket League, which are next week, like I said, we're most likely going to stream those on Twitch and try and upload those VODs up to YouTube. So yeah, I mean, streaming on Twitch compared to YouTube, we feel like is a better system, especially for live streaming compared to YouTube. And Twitch is something that we're going to resort to a lot more with these new leagues we're opening, and with console and the PC league that we're launching for Rainbow Six Siege. Those will also be switching to Twitch as well. For console, I'm not super strict on what account or what kind of service or platform it's streaming on, since there's a limited amount of casters for PlayStation comp on R6. So we're just gonna let them do their thing, and Cargo has done a great job with running the broadcast and all that. So
Boy,
Twitch,
Escargo.
yeah, as Cargo has been doing great with the broadcast. But yeah, stay tuned for us to be on the Twitch side of things now.
Yeah, I like what you guys are trying to do with the leagues and all the production. Sorry, I've been trying to get some. I like what you guys doing with all the leagues and all the production stuff. But yeah, shout out to my boy Escargo. That man works very, very, very hard. Got a message from him today as well. Um, he said he went to Vanderbilt, got a tour there today, and said the guy looks like my doppelganger. So that's kind of weird. Just thinking about that. But yeah, no, Skyro works hard. If you guys haven't seen, me and AGL and all that stuff a while back, Skyro's the guy. He's pretty funny. So I look forward to seeing, what he's gonna do once the production team gets underway for the other games. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but on that, any upcoming events? You got any big games? Anything coming up?
Yeah. So, like I said, Rocket League and Valorant coming up in the next weeks. Rainbow Six Siege, PC. So for Rainbow Six Siege, I'm sure a lot of the viewers we get are from Rainbow Six Siege, since that's the main attraction. Um, we're gonna take a pretty long off season, since we want to get things set up for PC and really focus on having that set up. We can't do that in 2 weeks. So I've talked with Cosmic, our chief of operations. He will actually be promoted to co-owner in this next upcoming season, as I'm going to take a bigger role and just focus more on the organization part of things. And mainly with R6, we're going to take a pretty long off season, maybe 3 to 4 weeks, maybe more, depending on how things go, to make sure we get a production team for PC, a casting team, and enough teams to operate. We're hoping to get the usual amount that we have, which is 24. But if we can't, we might just resort to 12 and go from there. But yeah, I mean, a lot planned with Rainbow Six Siege, of course. For our organization server, which I feel doesn't get enough attention, we will be opening 3 new leagues, which are called the Inferno Mini League Series, which will be 3 separate leagues for Rocket League, Rainbow Six Siege, and Valorant,
Mhm.
which will be very small within the organization server, 6 teams total, and it's just going to be a fun, you know, change of pace within those smaller leagues, just to play around, have fun. Um, in the future, we might provide cash prize for them, but we're not 100% sure. But those 3 leagues will also be having weekly tournaments within the organization, um, and just community events led by our great event managers, YHQZ and Kid Golf. So those 2 will be managing a lot of community events. So stay tuned if you want to be more interactive with the Inferno community. Just kind of touch fan base and just touch the community base with all of our leagues. The organization part of the server is definitely for you.
And yeah, on that, I mean, I do have the slideshow here of all the brackets right here. I think you guys are looking at the D3 bracket right now. That's what it looks like at the moment. Waiting for the week games to be played. In round one, there's some buys. The D3s do kind of lack a little bit in the team department, but we have all that for you guys. The D2, um, sorry, the D2 one's not coming up. Hello, come on, D2 bracket, come up, buddy. There, right there is the D1 bracket for you guys. Sorry, the D2 was just having a sweet time. This is D1 bracket, as you guys can see. You have Durag and all them, playing for it. Then you have our D2 right here. Um, Cool Cats and all them. So yeah, it's a great thing of teams. A lot of competitive teams in there, and I specifically like how you have these great teams, in the playoffs, and sometimes they drop games, and for example, um, you got a team like Aatrox, they play really really well, and they just meet a team like Grim Reality, for example, who just plays better and then puts them down in the losers bracket, and
Yeah.
sometimes you got to claw your way through the bracket. So it's nice seeing how competitive that D1 division is, especially that D2 as well. Um, I'm kind of favorite to Cool Cats because I made the logo, but it's still some good competition at D1, D2, especially at D3 too. There's some teams that you really never heard of that are really competing as well. Um, so it's nice to see. Hope you guys like these brackets as well. For Inferno, they are using
Mhm.
these and they are updated weekly for you guys. But yeah, thank you for joining me
Yeah.
today, Cardinal. Hope to see you
Cool.
guys soon. And we probably will have a promo video at some point in time for you guys that will join the Rogue Energy ad as well. We'll put it in that little compilation along with the support of Courage Army or Courage GG in the ad department as well. So thank you for joining me. Have a good one, Cardinal.
Yeah. Yep. You as well. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So, while Cardinal was just chilling here, let's head into our other topics here. We're supposed to have Edible on here with us, but he so happened to, you know, have some problems with his internet. So we're probably gonna take a quick short break here, while I make sure Cardinal's good and get on the next topics. So see you guys in a couple seconds. Hey guys, welcome back. It's your boy Q's. How's everyone doing? We are back for the second half of our podcast here. Thank you guys again for Cardinal joining us from Inferno League, but we are gonna head into the back half here. Like I said, we're supposed to have Edible on us, but on here with us, but he so happened to have some problems. So we're gonna head on these quick little topics real quick. Um, First topic is the current state of FPS games. I was gonna ask Edible what he thinks about that. But it's gonna be just my job here to hit on it. Um, I don't think current FPS are in the currently aren't in the greatest state. Lately, I feel like it's just been the same rotation of bad game after bad game, and then every few years a great game comes out. And a great example of that is GTA 5. GTA has great games. It takes them a lot of time to make their game to perfect it, and we all love it, right? But for another example of the other perspective, you have COD. COD comes out every single year. And for the past couple of years, it's just been bad after bad after bad game, and it gets worse progressively. And you can tell, in their cells, yeah, in their cells, not like cells like in the body cells, but cells making money. Um, and you can tell from the community as well that they're just upset with the way the game's going, and I think that really impacted Activision or Microsoft now perspective on you know let's slow it down, let's make a great game and let's take our time. I'm glad they did that. They're like, hey, y'all just putting out game after game. You want to maximize profit, not just make a game so you can get quick profit. So good thing that Microsoft stepped in there and told them, hey, you got to slow this down, get this stuff fixed out. So good thing they did that, came in and helped them out. Um, and with FPS games, FPS games, everyone loves them. We all love FPS games. If you guys, been playing COD since you were young, everyone loves shooter games. Same thing with sports games. Same thing with story mode games. Everyone loves them. And what separates them apart is the pacing, the community, and how much effort developers want to put into making the game. And with Halo, that game took a minute. It was like I think 3, 4, 5 years it took them to make that, and that game so happens to be popular. It's outperforming in views pro league wise. The community's happy with it, and it's a full complete game. You know, and that's a good thing. Like I said, every couple of years a great game comes out and saves the FPS. You know, um, but of recent it's just been bad. There's been times where I'm just like, do I want to play 2K? I want to play Call of Duty. And I choose 2K. Same thing with Siege. Siege's pacing has been really slow. A lot of changes. And me as a person, I don't like a ton of changes to my game. I'm okay with slow, methodical changes. Take our time with it. Like GTA, perfect. They come with a change. They change something. They don't tweak a lot. They just tweak this little bit right there. It doesn't, feel like it's a whole different game, and it's perfect. I feel like Siege, so much stuff got changed in one season. We got UI change. You got reinforcements. You got operators. You have all this stuff changed so quickly, and that's really detrimental to the game because the more you speed up the process of trying to update things, the quicker the game is either going to die out or the game is just gonna get methodical. So, kind of like I said, the current state FPS game isn't fantastic. I mean, like I said, games save it every couple years, but it has to step up of recent. Um, yeah, that's my sound on current FPS games. I'd like to know what you guys think about that. So let me know in the comments and know what you guys think about that. Let's head into our stigma with competitive gaming. I don't know if you guys heard me, really talking to Cardinal about that. Um, but competitive gaming is really oriented towards uh PC guys, or players with PCs, because they like to have the higher FPS, like to have all these special tweaks and stuff. But there are some really great players on console, and that's a good thing about COD, um, Rocket League, Halo. Those are controller first players. I think Rocket League may be PC, but I think it's easier to play with a controller. It's definitely easier to be a observer with a controller, to that for sure, especially on Siege. But a lot of guys that are really good on FPS games with a controller have to go to COD. You know what I mean? They can't go to Rainbow Six Siege because they only want you to use a PC because it's a different style of game. You know what I mean? So no matter what your skill is with a controller on those games, you're forced to use a mouse and keyboard. And I feel like that shouldn't be the way. You know what I mean? Um, and a lot of these competitive guys, there's some great players out there, and you know, I wish the organizations would look for who the player is and how they can be effective instead of just like, oh, he didn't fit in with this team, and he fit in with a team that was struggling off the bat, and you're like, oh, he's burnt. And I was watching Slack today, and Slack was like, yeah, I'm a person of that. Same with Havoc. They're both affected by roster changes. They come in hoping they can do something. They got their shot, and not much happened of it. So, and that right there, that was their one chance, and it got blown because the team wasn't playing great, and they didn't help out anymore. So they lost their chance. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, Slack is a fantastic COD player. He needs to get picked up. That guy he's still got it in him. But I wish to see that they expanded more on that, and really open up room for newer players that are players, not just straight up, oh yeah, you suck, like ego players. Um, so I wish they can fix that. Competitive gaming, that's just the thing really behind it is, how well can this player play within this team, and not based on just like their performance and how well they are as a player in person, because that really affects you know a player. If for example, if I was to make a team, um in the pro leagues, they put me on a team. Oh, I'm playing great. Oh, the team didn't play great. Oh, sorry, you gotta go. Like, that shouldn't be how it should be. And most of the time that's how it is. Sometimes guys will be doing great, and then they'll just get cut because the team did well. The organization would drop the entire roster, send the challengers, and pick up the best challenger league team. You know what I mean? Even though that player is so good. For example, you got Temp. I mean, Temp was playing great on LA Thieves. They ended up, letting him go, and now he's on his own. So, um, he's on his own in Paris, and I'm like, man, jeez. So now he's on Paris frying. So I feel bad for some of these guys, especially with the org changes. But some guys, you got to find your org. Like for instance, Scump found his. Scump been in Optic since Optic of the beginning with Nate Shot and them. So, good old competitive gaming. Well, that's all my takes on it. I hope you guys are okay with that. If you guys do have any comments, leave them down for the YouTube as well. If not, DM me through my Discord. If you guys don't know my Discord server, it is in the YouTube or the Twitch, whatever one you're watching. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm your boy Cubes, and I'll catch you guys later.